is Facebook. We have
Everybody's
Facebook.
here.
We have Instagram. The whole gang's
Get it
here.
on the
Wade's going to pull up your
Facebook.
comments so that he can see them. How's everybody doing? We're so excited to be back with you guys.
My neck.
We were sad to miss Wednesday. Had a crazy ocular migraine. I don't know if y'all get them, then you probably know what they are, but they are like migraines without the migraine. The headache comes later, and you like lose your vision, and it is the scariest darn thing that you could possibly ever have. So if that's ever happened to you, it's been crazy. I've had a lot of people message me when I talked about it on Instagram and say, oh my gosh, that is exactly what I've had. I felt like I was dying forever, and now I finally know what it is.
Yeah, that's the way you were.
Yeah,
that's the way she was at the beginning when she used to have them. She used to, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. Is something wrong with me?
It is the scariest thing.
Yeah, then our good friend Justin Bencourt was like, oh, that's called an ocular migraine. Here, take, what is migraine medicine?
Excedrin migraine.
Excedrin
I had
migraine.
no idea what it even was, and so I would just literally, when it would happen, I would go to bed and I would just put a pillow over my head like, I'm dying, and I would just be panic attack and all these things because I was freaking out. Yeah. And then finally, when I figured out what it was, I was able to treat it with medicine. And usually if I can get Excedrin migraine, it'll cause my vision not to completely go. I still have a lot of the symptoms, and
you don't freak out quite as much because you know exactly.
But how many times do I ask you if I'm going to be permanently blind?
You feel bad for her. You should feel bad for me.
Ask him so many times. Yeah. I should start this is an inside joke between us because I panic that I'm dying from sicknesses and illnesses a lot, and so.
I almost died from a sickness today. My thumb is on fire actually right now, right there.
There has to be other people out there that are just like this. So let me know in the comments if you...
Maverick is good.
Maverick is great.
Yeah, he's good.
He had that one night terror. We think that's what it was anyways, and he's fine. But yes, thank you for asking. But yeah, I do tend to feel like I'm dying a lot. I just take it to the extreme. I'm an extremist person. And so one night after we had Maverick, this is a hilarious story.
Oh, yeah.
We were laying in bed.
She had no clue that I knew.
don't know if it's like a new parent thing, but when you literally go from having sleep to zero sleep, my ears were ringing for days. For days, my ears were ringing. And so one night, I thought I was losing my hearing completely. And so I wake Wade up in the middle of the night. I'm like, wake up. I'm like, I cannot hear out of my ear. It's ringing. I cannot hear out of my ear.
And I said, it's fine. It's okay.
That is not what I needed to hear. Like, I needed someone to reassure me that I was not going to lose my hearing.
And I told her that multiple times, and I rolled over and went to bed.
He told me one time he rolled over and he went to bed, and so the next thing...
Y'all, this is a daily thing, though.
No, it's not.
This is not... Okay, every other...
Anyways, the next thing that you know, what do you hear?
Yeah, so I'm laying there, so my back's turned this way.
Because that's how you care for somebody who's freaking out that they're losing their hearing.
No, I did this. I did this. It's okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And then I went to sleep, and then all of a sudden, I hear... And I look over, and Hope's over there going like this.
I just wanted to make sure I could hear. And he wasn't going to talk to me, so I had to make sure.
And so the next morning, we wake up and dealing with Maverick, and I go, so last night you were snapping in your ear? And she goes, you heard me do that? I go,
I was trying to check.
Weirdo.
So now when somebody, I say something like, oh my gosh, I think I'm sick or I'm getting sick, they'll start snapping in their eye or in their ear.
If her vision's going, well, Chris will go.
Rotten to me is not funny. It's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. We can laugh at ourselves. But yes, I do tend on the daily to think that I'm dying from something.
Yeah, that runs in your family.
So, anyways, that's how we're starting this episode, everybody, on the quarantine, is talking about that we feel like we're losing our vision and our hearing. So, anyways, but I am feeling much better. Thank you for those of you who reached out. I cannot even tell the story. We're not allowed to tell the story of what Wade did today. We cannot. That's embarrassing. Even Chase
I've already put it on
Chase
Instagram.
Cam says no.
I've already told you on Instagram. Yeah. So just some good advice. Just some good advice. If you deal with jalapenos, just make sure that
you wash your hands before you pee.
Before you visit the restroom.
Especially if you're a male.
Just word of advice.
A great
I've heard that my whole life. Didn't believe it until today.
We should all write, literally everybody should write a book on how you survived the quarantine, because the funniest stories have come out of this.
I thought I was dying today.
Oh my word, the funniest stories have come.
I was screaming.
I need to somehow journal this or record it, or I don't know, but anyways. So there's that, guys. That's how our life is going. We hope that yours is going much better than ours. Everybody's fine here. We're all fine. We're doing fine. It's fine. We're going to be fine.
If I look down, I'm looking at the Facebook. I think I'm rude.
Tonight, we are so excited because long ago, y'all remember long ago, when this whole quarantine started?
4 weeks ago.
Which was 4 weeks ago, but feels like 4 months ago. Y'all asked for a quarantine challenge. You said we need to set some goals. We need to have something to keep us going, keep us motivated. And so, it was all fun and games the first 4 weeks, and now it's getting real. And we're like, hold on, life is still continuing. So how can we do this quarantine challenge and still be as productive as possible? So that is what we are going to talk about tonight. But before we get into that, we have a couple corn memes for you, as we have dubbed them. So I'm going to read these to you if you're on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, you can see them. But I always love to start the show with these because they make me laugh every single night. I am a nerd. I lay in bed and I laugh at memes while I'm testing my hearing and my vision. That's just who I am, guys. That's the real Hope King for you.
Am I dying?
This is the real us. Okay. So here we go. The first one is this. It says, Netflix should change their message from "Are you still watching?" to "You should shower and come back."
You should shower and come back.
I washed my hair today, so I'm feeling good about life. I have on makeup. It's a miracle, guys.
I took a milk bath today.
All you cool cats and kittens, how many of y'all have watched The Tiger King?
Me.
True or false? Because I've heard the rustling of rumors. And so, is there really, in fact, another episode coming out, and when?
We fact check that soon, right, Chase?
Sunday.
This tomorrow?
It's coming out on Easter. On the day of our risen Lord and Savior, they're coming out with another Tiger King episode. I don't think I can watch it on Sunday. I just don't feel right about that. But on Monday, maybe I will check that one out. So apparently it is true. But anyways, this one says my kid, and the kid is saying, how am I going to learn if I can't go to school? And it's the Tiger King, but it says me on the internet worldwide.
Worldwide. On the internet,
worldwide. Oh boy, that Tiger King. Okay, this is a great one. Now that we have everyone washing their hands correctly, this one is for Wade. Next week, let's talk about turn signals. Maybe we could work on that with you. I'm really legitimately afraid that he has not been in a car driving for this long, and he's already such a terrible driver that I can't imagine what it's going to be.
I use my turn signals.
On occasion.
I do.
We live in Atlanta. Nobody uses turn signals.
I use turn signals.
I don't know if that's a thing where you are, but...
No, I use turn signals, but I don't wait on people to let me in.
It really has been why do people not know how to wash their hands correctly until now? Well, seriously. Okay, next one. This is just so appropriate for the stories that we already told. It says, every time I feel a tingle in my throat, is that you, Rona? Is that you? That is... How I've probably had the coronavirus at least 1,000 times since we started.
My nose is running. I hope there's pollen counts.
My eyes are
running.
High. I have the Rona. My nose is running.
I'm dying.
If you feel like you have the Rona, just start snapping at all the things, and it's like checking your vitals, people. That's all it is. It's just checking your vitals. And this next one is a graph, and it is 1,000% realistic. Facebook, if you're with us, let us know in the comments if this is you. And it says relative importance in 2020. Cars have gone down, clearly. Ain't nobody getting in their car. Coffee stayed the same. For Wade, it definitely went up a lot. He has about 12 cups a day.
No.
The internet's gone up slightly. We're doing some virtual learning. And then we see sweatpants. And it has dramatically increased. And that is my life. So, if you've been living in your sweatpants, give us some hearts. Let us know that you've been, it's fine to admit it. But that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, is how to get out of those sweatpants and get to it, people. So,
get after it.
Tonight, we are dubbing this be part of the QuaranTEAM, but it's going to be called the QuaranTEAM Challenge, because now you have the time. Now is the time.
Yeah, and I'll say this: everything that we're about to show you, I had nothing to do with. This was all her brilliant idea. So,
but he is going to partake.
I am going to partake,
and we are going to get. We're going to get things going in the King household.
Some of these things are like things that we talk about often, but
this is how. So, when y'all asked for a quarantine challenge, we didn't even come up with anything right away because I didn't just want to throw anything together. I literally had to see what was happening in this quarantine challenge for me personally.
Right.
And that's kind of what we've always done, is just share things that have worked for us, and hopefully it'll work for you. I'm not just trying to create something and say, here, do this, if I'm not like really gonna do it too with you guys, if we're not gonna be in it together.
I mean, it's the same thing that we do with teaching. We're never going to share ideas that we have not found that worked in our classrooms or with our kids or with other people. So
I'll tell you why it came out now is because the past 2 weeks, you can ask Wade, I have been like worthless. I mean, almost worthless. Like I haven't wanted to, worthless for, okay, you were just, now I feel the sarcasm in that. But I have not been like motivated to do anything. And so I literally was like, I've got to get my act together. And so I sat down and I started thinking about, okay, what is it that I've always done? What do I need to continue to do? And how do I do that during this time when it is so difficult? I feel like Wade has been mad productive and focused and driven for the most part.
I mean, I have. Like if
I have not.
If I don't, then I go down a rabbit hole and I don't get out of it. For her, if she takes a day or two to kind of recompose herself, she's good and she's right back on it. For me, it's the opposite. If I don't, you've lost me. So,
but I will tell you something. Since we are talking about productivity tonight, something that I started doing once I had Maverick, and I feel like it has made the biggest difference in me. And I'm going to be honest with you. The past 2 weeks, I've kind of dipped off of this a little bit, and I have not been productive whatsoever. So Chase has been quarantining almost with us for the most part. None of us get out and go anywhere at all. But so he could probably attest to this because they always made fun of me for it in the past. But the past 2 weeks, I've kind of dropped off a little bit. So when we had Maverick, I started doing something. I've shared it on Instagram a couple of times, but I feel like it has made a massive world of difference. Every night, after Maverick goes to bed.
I don't make fun of her. I know what you're going to say.
You've started participating, which is great, now that you're not getting up at 5:30 in the morning to drive an hour and a half to work.
5:15.
5:15 in the morning. But every night when Maverick goes to bed, before I pass go, before I collect $200, before I sit down on the couch, before I eat any snack, before I watch any show, what do I do?
What
do we do now?
Vacuum.
We clean. And I don't mean like we do a deep clean, but every night we pick up every single toy. We pick up our kitchen. We wipe down all the countertops. We vacuum the floors because we have a 10-month-old, or almost a, I can't even say 10-month-old.
He's about to
He's
be
almost a year on the 25th.
And he's acting like he's funny.
Oh my gosh. We vacuum the floors, like everything. I put oils on so that it smells clean in the morning. We empty the trash. Everything's picked up. Everything looks as though it's a clean house. Now, if you were to open the closets and things like that, it might not appear so. But the things that you can see in plain sight are clean.
Dishes
they
out of
smell
the
clean.
sink,
There's
everything.
no dishes in the sink. Everything is put away. Guys, it is a game changer for me in the mornings. Because when I get up, I don't know about you, but when I get up and I walk down to a clean house that smells good, I don't have to empty trash, I don't have to worry about putting dishes away, I am 1,000 times more productive that day. I don't have to make my bed. That is not a thing for me. I don't have to make my bed. I know they say
I've started
that
making the bed
Wade
every
has
day.
started making the bed every day. I don't have to do that.
I've really turned a corner.
But if it's true, y'all have no idea, okay? You have no idea.
My closet's clean, Justin, if you're watching.
But if I walk down to a clean house, I'm so much more productive. So I wanted to start by saying this. You've got to set yourself up for success. We're going to talk about some goals. We're going to talk about getting ourselves out of this rut that we're in with this quarantine, out of this mindset that we can just sit on the couch and watch Netflix all day, because that is not good for mental health, by the way. Trust me, from someone who's done it for the past 2 weeks. And we've got to get ourselves in a headspace that says, okay, I truly want to make a change. I think the biggest thing that I notice about myself, and I don't know about you guys, I love when y'all interact in the comments because we can read everything and see everything.
Yeah.
But for myself, if I just say that I want to make a change and I just talk about it, I can even give him ideas. If I just sit and talk about it, I never make a change. It actually takes and requires action. And so for me, if I want to be on my game the next day and really strive to achieve these goals that I'm going to talk about, I have to set myself up the night before to be in a mindset that morning that I am going to achieve my goals. And if I walk into a dirty kitchen with dishes all in the sink, I can't even think about my goals because all I'm thinking about is, great, now I've got to clean up the house and now I've got to straighten this up and look at this disastrous mess. My mindset is already shot.
Yeah, I mean it's habitual, and so once you start doing that and you do it for a certain period of time, it just becomes a habit, just like anything else. But you do have to take action to be able to accomplish your goals or whatever they are. You, just like Hope said, you can't just talk about them. It doesn't matter what type of goal it is. Like, you're not going to go out and run a marathon and just go out there and just run a mile or two. Like, you got to understand what to put in your body, when you're going to get those miles in, and it has to become a habit.
Work to
you got to
reach
do the
that
work.
goal.
Like, you got to do the work no matter what, and that's something that we've always applied to every aspect of our life, no matter what it is. So,
and I mean, I do not. I was up there doing it right before I came. I was running down here. I had like 2 minutes before this ever started because I was like, I'm getting it done. I'm getting it done. I'm getting this. It's Friday night, but I'm getting this kitchen clean. I'm getting everything done because tomorrow is a new day. And so I just wanted to start with, you've got to set yourself, whatever your thing is, whatever, you may be fine with having dishes in the sink, and that's not the point. But what do you do the night before? And it only takes us maybe 10 or 15 minutes max versus letting it all pile up and then we're spending hours doing it later. So you've got to think of, okay, what do I need to prep myself the night before to be in the mindset the next day that I'm going to achieve these goals?
Louis Giglio shared I'll look it up. It was a sermon. It was probably about 2 years ago. He's our pastor here at Passion City Church. But he was talking about the day.
I lost my goals.
The day doesn't start the moment that you wake up and your feet hit the floor. The day starts the night before that day. And so there's a lot that you can do to prepare your mind and just set yourself up for success, even a little bit, for what you're going to experience the next day or whatever it may be. So keep that in mind.
So that's just one thing that you want to consider. Okay, first thing, how am I going to start getting myself in a positive mindset going into the next day? Like, when I get my feet on the floor, what is going to put me in a good mood to where I'm going to feel motivated? And for me, that is a clean house. So that is why I do it every night. Again, I picked up on it the past couple nights this week because I recognized I was not in such a good place. So now, once I started realizing that I was just in a bad place of doing nothing and I could have stayed there for a really long time, I really started thinking about, okay, what makes me productive? And so what you're going to have all these printable resources if you want them. You don't have to print these off at all. We just wanted to kind of share some things that have worked for us in hopes that maybe it would like jog your brain of, oh yeah, I used to do that. Or, wow, I haven't thought about that in a while, because these are all things that we've all done, at some point in our life or another. We just get off the train every once in a while. So 2 things for me that I really started thinking about that I needed to really start being intentional about. And I think when you recognize that you are falling off the wagon, it's like, okay, I know what I need to do, but I've got to be intentional about it. So for me, I'm a very visual person, so I like to see things. And so when I started thinking about this, I created a little sheet, and it says, Instagram is backwards for y'all, I'm sorry, but it says #goals. Chase told me I was really hip because, stop.
So, my ear's ringing.
You're so rotten.
No, it really was. It was so
Chase
weird.
told me that I was super cool because I put a Z on goals, and I said, well, I'm not 104 yet. So anyways, I made it cool for y'all. I even made tie-dye, but there's a regular white version for you males out there. But 2 things that I'm focusing on.
Tie-dye is for males?
That's true. You have a lot of tie-dye.
I wear tie-dye.
Okay. Can I move on now?
Yep, sorry.
Okay, great. So 2 things that I'm really going to start focusing on moving forward, and this is going to be like, I've divided it into 4 weeks because I don't do days. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you're like me, which I think that 99.999% of you are, you would say, I'm going to start on May 1st. That is what most people say when you look at a calendar, because you want to start fresh on a new month or even a new day of the week, and that doesn't mean anything. What that means is that basically you're not going to keep your goals. You're not going to keep your goals. You're not going to stay true to them because you're trying to put it off as long as possible because you want to plan. That's just you procrastinating, which means that you're not in the mindset that you want to achieve your goals anyway.
I remember when you had a personal experience with this. Sorry, remember when you had Robert before our wedding, and so he was training Hope before our wedding, and he was like, Hope was saying, well, I'll start the diet and so, or I'm just sore, and Robert was like, no, who cares? We're going to go after it today.
Yeah.
Why are you going to wait 2 more days?
Right.
Like, there's no reason to wait 2 more days.
So I have a calendar, a type of calendar that I'm going to use for myself, and it is like 7 days a week because it can start whatever day of the week you want it to start. You got to be ready I've got to rip the Band-Aid off. Let's go for it. Let's stop procrastinating. So 2 kind of categories that I'm really going to start focusing on 100% to get myself back on track is habits and then accomplishing goals. And I think that those are two very different things. I don't feel like I am going to accomplish my goals if I don't get into daily habits, which we know, we talked about it in the research behind the wild card with the 21 days. Science says that it takes 21 days to create a habit. So that's perfect because
we're there, guys. We're there.
We're about to do 4 weeks. Well, I'm doing 4 weeks. Y'all can join me. I would love for you to join me. 4 weeks, which is more than 21 days. And so here's how I'm kind of dividing it up. Habits are a daily thing. Like, it is something that you do not miss a day of. You set those habits and you rigorously, those are the things that I feel like you have to rigorously stick to. Like, you've got to do them every single day. No excuses, no nothing. They have to be done.
It's the formula. You
Yeah.
got to have a formula to reach your goals.
And this is just what I have found that's worked for me. So I'm just sharing what's worked for me. If y'all have other things, please, by all means, share them in the comments because everybody is so different with this. But the next thing is then accomplishing goals. And so I have some specific things that I want to focus on that I am doing every day, 100%, because I feel like it's going to get me in the right mindset of then wanting to actually achieve my goals. So for me, my habits that I'm going to really focus on, which a lot of them I already have in order. So again, before you even think about what habits you want to set, make sure that they're realistic enough that you can maintain them.
Yeah.
Because if you set something that's crazy, then you're going to do it for 7 days and be done with it. Don't do that.
You have to make sure it fits with your schedule and things that are going on in your life.
Which right now it's called the QuaranTEAM challenge because we got all the time. I mean, I know we all have kids and we have certain things, and we're going to talk about that too.
There's a lot of things going on.
But I'm just going to share mine with you, and then I have the printable for this if this is something that y'all wanted to do. On Facebook, you can see it. And on Instagram, it's backwards. I'm sorry, but it says exercise. That is a habit every single day that I want to do, even if it's just walking, even if it's just going on a walk. So on the templates that I've made for myself that I'm going to share with you guys, if you want them, I've left everything blank because Wade and I, our exercise times are completely different every day.
And they look different.
And so this has to be tailored to you and what you want to do. You may say, I haven't exercised in years. I'm going to start off with 15 minutes a day. That's a realistic goal that you're going to be able to maintain for 21 days. Then you can start upping those times as you start to continue to grow that habit. You can't start with your habit goal here. You've got to grow the habit. And so exercise. So I'm setting my goal for 40 minutes a day, 7 days a week. But that, to me, is also walking with Maverick. So some of that time can be done when I'm with him in his stroller, walking or jogging, etc. But I've been working out for a good amount of time now. I started with like 20, 25 minutes. And now I've worked my way up to 40. So that one I just kind of have to maintain. This next one I actually have to do, and it is water. And so I think part of what happened to me this past week,
she was dehydrated.
Is I was super dehydrated.
With the allergies.
Yeah. I have a horrible habit of not drinking water. I would rather die of thirst than drink water. I only did it when I was pregnant with Maverick because I had somebody else depending on me, which is now what I need for y'all to do. But for me, water
you were
is...
drinking a lot of water then.
I was like, I'll just drink tea or I'll just drink Diet Dr. Pepper. But
she was drinking lots of decaffeinated coffee, lots of unsweet tea.
And I'm like, it's not caffeine because I get decaf. Yeah.
I mean, and I wasn't even checking on it.
So my goal is to drink 100 ounces a day, 6 bottles, 100 ounces, try to calculate that relatively. And so that's going to be a hard one for me. But that's a habit that and if I get in the habit, it's fine. Like when I was pregnant, I didn't even think about it. I drank bottles of water just because I was in the habit. Another thing that I'm doing, so I have 5 major habits that I'm trying to either continue or build upon, is prayer or meditation. So for me, doing my devotionals every single day, if I don't get in a habit of doing that, I get in the mindset of, I pray. I pray all day. I do pray all day. Yeah. That is so true. But that time just of being still, being silent, whatever that is, I think helps my anxiety so much. And right now, I really need something to keep that in check.
Meditate a lot.
Yeah, so prayer and meditation, 20 minutes a day. And then the last 2 things are you time and random acts of kindness.
Is that what RAC stands
Yes, that is
for?
what RAC, Chase. That is what RAC, Chase was like, what is RAC? Random acts of kindness. Yeah. So the final 2, you time. And some of these can even go together. Like you might say, me time is exercising. That's my me time. But for me, sometimes I like to take a bath, or I like to sit and read a book, or I like to do something that is just something that I enjoy doing. What do you like to do for you time?
I mean, I love a good bubble bath. Any other guys out there like a bubble bath?
He does,
because people make fun of me all the time.
He likes bath bombs and all the things.
I do. I like bath bombs, and I like tie-dye shirts, And I love musicals.
Who did I marry? I don't even know.
And then I love to beat people up. It's great fun.
See, Amy even knows her friend. She
says,
yes,
Amy knows. She does. But no, you asked me, what do I like for my alone time?
I like to try different makeup things and different facial things. And
yeah, she's been doing that. I like to watch. I love to work out. If I'm by myself and I'm working out, that's really good for me. Another thing that I like to do is I like to watch comic book things on YouTube.
He does. Or Disney Nature. About penguins and elephants and all the things.
I'm going to learn a song on the guitar soon.
He does love to play music.
So I haven't played music in a long time.
I've encouraged him that he needs to play for Maverick.
I don't have my acoustic guitar because it's at the school.
So anyways, something you time. And you time, a lot of people are like, I don't have time. Make time. You need 5 or 10 minutes to do something for yourself every single day. You need it mentally to step away from being what everybody needs you to be and be who you need yourself to be. For just, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day, but again, it has to be a habit where you're even stepping away, whatever it is. I don't care, but some kind of you time. I've noticed that's made a big difference for me since becoming a mom, especially. I'm a much better mom if I can just have a little bit of me time.
Yeah, I got to have my own time.
And then random acts of kindness daily. This is what we talked about last Friday on our episode with Hayward, Jean, is serving, acts of service. And I know right now that we can't be together and we can't, be in community together and hug each other and do all the things. But I think that if we are not thinking of still how we can serve other people, we are going to get out of the habit of that. And we're going to become very self-absorbed. We're going to become very selfish with ourselves and our needs. And what's going to happen when all of this is over? And so that is definitely one habit that I want to stay focused on, how I can help someone else. It can be a simple comment on an Instagram post, just telling them that you're thinking about them. They're doing an amazing job if it's a teaching post. Yeah. It can be a simple text message, a phone call, Facebook Messenger, just message a friend, message somebody that needs to hear from you. There's Maverick. He tends to wake up from time to time, but most of the time he puts himself back to sleep. But just something. It does not have to be that you send them anything or you do anything for them right now, but just staying in the mindset of thinking about others and how you can help them. So that is my habit section. Those are the 5 habits that I really want to focus on every single day.
Your formula to get to your goals.
To get to my goals. So my 5 habits are exercise, water, prayer/meditation, you time, and random acts of kindness. So those are 5 things that I'm going to be focusing on every day. Random acts of kindness might take 2 minutes, maybe. You time, again, can be joined with something else. Exercise could be 15 minutes if you're just starting out. Water is just a mindset. It's just something to remind yourself that you have to do. So these are not things that take hours and hours and hours out of your day. So that is what I'm focusing on as far as my habits are concerned. Again, that's like Wade said, kind of like the formula to get to your goals, but something that I do every single day. Then the next half of this is accomplishing your goals. And so I have 3 things that I am focused on for goal setting, just because I feel like a lot of times, if I start setting goals, sometimes I just don't achieve them. I just give up the mindset within a couple of days. And so I'm like, what are some things that I really want to put into practice that I don't necessarily have to do every single day, but things that I want to work towards throughout the 4 weeks or throughout a weekly period or whatever it may be. So I have 3 different things that I'm focusing on, and it's actually on my goal setting sheet, but it's also on my 4-week calendar thing that I made for myself. Because again, I'm very visual. I'm very old school. I don't like Google Calendars. I like something that I can check off. And so on my calendar,
we don't like technology. That's what it is.
Yeah. On my calendar, you see my 5 habits, so I can check those off every single day because it just makes me so proud. I feel like when I can check things off, that I'm going to keep doing it just so I can check it off my list tomorrow.
That's how she is.
That's how I am.
That's how she runs.
He's
her
not
brain.
like that.
I'm not like that.
I am. So if you're like that, then this is going to be helpful for you. But then the next thing is every week it says organize my. Because this is something that's very important to me.
I'm going to hold it up to the Instagram so they can see it.
They can't see it. It's backwards anyways.
Oh.
They can't see it even if they wanted to. But it says organize my. And so each week I'm going to focus on organizing something in my house. Because again, I don't want to come... when we're done with this whole quarantine thing, who knows when I'm going to be in this house again to organize this mess. And I want to be able to go into the world and know that my focus can go onto whatever I'm doing next, my next project, whatever it is.
You don't want to come out of this and be like, man, I wish I would have done that. Yeah. Or have any regrets on something that you would have done.
So for me, I'm like, okay, if I'm getting in the mindset of once I'm out of this quarantine, I'm going to be ready to hit the ground running, I want to have my house in check, because who knows how many years before, well, hopefully we'll never have a quarantine again, but before I'm able to get to it again. So instead of saying I'm going to spend the whole week organizing, because for me, that just like exhausts me, and then I just don't want to do it anymore, and then I phase out the first couple of days. So instead, I'm going to focus on something small each week. So like the first week, I'm going to organize my kitchen, which I've already done, but I just have drawer organizers now that I need to kind of put everything into. Then the second week is going to be organize my closet, because I cleaned it out, but I'd never organized everything back.
I did that.
The third week is organize Maverick's room, because he grows out of clothes like it's his job. And the final week is organize my closet. And so I put this across the week, so that way I wouldn't necessarily have to do it every day, but I'm going to fill it in as progress is happening. So obviously by the end of the week, I want that whole bar to be filled in for organize my. So that way I can take it a little bit at a time. If I want to spend 10 minutes a day doing it, you can't say that you don't have 5 or 10 minutes a day. You just got to get that time focused and be intentional about the time that you do have and how you're using it. Because I could easily spend that time, 5 or 10 minutes, on social media, or looking at pictures, or doing something that's just a waste of my time, watching Netflix, because I would much rather watch something on Netflix. So it's just about being intentional with your time. So that's the next thing. And then
let me bounce off that real quick. So, I mean, this doesn't necessarily mean you tangibly have to organize.
It doesn't mean you have to organize anything.
But I mean, going off of that, maybe you're trying to get prepared for next school year, or maybe you're trying to get prepared for a birthday party or something that's coming up. You can simply replace that with something that you know is going to be in the future, so you can be intentional that week on focusing on that. We're just saying organizing because we go 24/7, and we never have the opportunity to spend it here at home and get our house in order.
Yeah.
So
it could very well be that. What do I want to get organized for next year, for the school year? For me, after I finish these 4 weeks in my house, I have got to organize my files on my computer, because it looks like a bomb exploded on my desktop. Your
emails,
whatever it is, but projects, just something that like throughout the year it like weighs heavy on you. That's what you've got to really start thinking about is, okay, if I'm going to use this time wisely, what are the things that weigh heavy on me throughout the year that I can take care of now? So when this new school year starts, or when we do get out of quarantine, that I can feel good about doing the things that I need to do then.
And it's just maintaining it.
Yeah. And so organizing something for me each week is going to be one of my goals that I want to accomplish. And then I have two other things. The second thing is read. I want to read a book throughout this 4-week period. And so I just put myself a little checklist box down here at the very bottom. And every day that I read, I'll just color in a box. So I don't have to, again, it's not a habit. So it's not something I have to do every day. But I think that reading challenges your thoughts. It gives you things that you can think about. It challenges, ideas and what I want to create. And, I want to do this, or this gave me motivation for this. Or maybe it's just something enjoyable that I want to read. But I want to read a book. So by the way, I want recommendations for books that you guys love, because I have not selected which book that I want to read.
Yeah, someone just said, what's everyone been reading?
Yeah, so please let us know what good books should we read, and kind of give us a little bit of idea of what it is, because I want to go back through this, because I have not selected a book yet. But guess what? That can be done as an audible book, or even a podcast. It doesn't even have to be read a book. Listen to a podcast while I'm working out. These things can happen simultaneously. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of getting them put into place and being intentional about carrying through with whatever it is that you want to do. And so I'm going to organize. I'm going to either read or listen to a podcast. So you can even let us know podcast in the comments too. So books or podcasts, both can be educational. They can, again, challenge your thinking. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, something to improve upon an idea. And then the third goal, so I have organize, I have read. And the third goal is I want to learn something. I don't want to just spend this time in my house and just get by. I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to teach myself something that I could use in the future? And so for me, this 4 weeks, I want to learn how to do webinars, because many of you have asked for previous Get Your Teach On sessions, or sessions that you weren't able to come to Get Your Teach On to see. How can we get those online? And so I've never done that because I've been afraid because I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to put that on a platform, how to do it in a format that's going to speak to you guys and give you guys what you need. And so for me, I want to learn how to do webinars so that I can serve you guys in a different way. And I can get you content and sessions that we have done at past Get Your Teach On conferences, but that we're not doing any longer. So if you weren't able to attend, you'll be able to see those. And so that's one thing that I really want to teach myself how to do.
We're already starting.
Yeah, so we've already started that. But that is kind of essentially how I am really going into these next 4 weeks in a mindset that's prepped, first of all, like I said the night before, that's building upon habits to keep myself in a mindset that is going to be functioning and moving forward and motivated and inspired and ready to go. You can't just always expect for other people to do that for you.
I mean, and going back with this, can you pull this one up, Chase, the goals real quick, so I can see it there too, because I can't read backwards really well. All right, there we go. So like with the great habits, we talked about like that's the formula, and then you're trying to accomplish these certain goals. For me and maybe for you, maybe you have this elaborate goal that you want to do by the end of the year, and right now is a perfect time to be able to do that. I've seen a lot of people, they want to run a half marathon or a marathon. I want to compete in a world championship tournament at the end of the year, and so some of those habits can enable you to do that, especially during this time period. And so that could be something that you're learning to do. So that learning doesn't necessarily have to be you're sitting behind a computer or you're learning a new skill or tool or whatever it is. Like adapt this and make it work for you so your habits support your goals.
Maybe you want to bake. You want to learn how to bake, or you want to learn how to cook. Or, it can literally be anything that you've always said. You've got to really think about, what have you said in the past?
Fill in the blank. Learn to do this. Learn to be this.
That if I had time to do this. That's why we're calling this the QuaranTEAM challenge, because now you have the time. But what we're encouraging you to do is that you can't just hop into a goal.
No.
You're not going to, well, you might start working towards it, but more than likely what we've seen from our past is that you're going to do it for a couple of days or maybe even a week or two, but then you're going to be done with it. You've got to establish habits that keep you in a mindset that make you want to achieve your goals. It's that intrinsic motivation type of thing that we try to teach our kids how to do.
Specifically for both of us right now, we're trying to be more healthy. So to be more healthy, you have to eat better, you have to exercise more. And so we're trying to set ourselves up during this time period to create those habits of we're both on Weight Watchers. We're looking at Weight Watcher points and making sure that we're eating what we're supposed to eat and drinking what we're supposed to drink. Obviously that didn't happen last week. But then exercising too. And it like being the best you can be doesn't happen overnight, and you have to start with those habits, and you have to be intentional about this doing this every single day as best that you can. Yeah. Are you going to have breakdowns? Yes. Yeah. Are you going to have setbacks? Yes.
All the time.
Like you just got to pick. All right, that was a bad day. Let's start tomorrow.
I mean, think about it. I used to be really bad at this. Really bad at this, especially on Weight Watchers. And this is so true of goals, this is so true of anything. If I would go off my points, so on Weight Watchers, you have a certain amount of points, right? And so each food is a certain amount of points, and you calculate them, and that's your day's quantities.
So like we have 30 points a day.
Many of you have probably heard of.
And we have weekly points.
Oprah does the Weight Watchers, right?
I'm doing it to lose weight for this competition. It's the best way to do it.
Anyways, I was terrible. This is my mindset. If I, on a Wednesday, would go over my points, guess when else I would go over my points? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah. And I would say, I'll start over on Monday. Well, then I've dropped off the wagon for 5 days. And so that is why the habits part of this is honestly more important than the goals. I feel like if you establish strong habits and you get in that kind of mentality where you're doing things to better yourself by creating habits, I feel like you're going to just the goals are going to start to happen naturally because you're going to be intrinsically motivated to want to achieve those goals. Because same thing is true of Weight Watchers. If I stick to it and I see that I'm losing weight, then I'm motivated to want to continue that. So it's the same thing is true of habits as well. So even if you have a bad day, though, you've got to hop back on and say, okay, let me get refocused. And that's kind of what the place that I'm at right now, because I have fallen off the wagon a little bit, but I've got to get back on it before I go a month or 2 months or the whole quarantine. Before it's, I'm looking back and like, oh, crap, what did I just do? I got to get a hold of this.
Even the best of the best are habitual in what they do, and they put in the work. You can be the most talented person in the world, but that will only get you so far. And whatever profession you're working in. And so it's the
Hard
work, it's the effort.
Outperforms
Steph Curry,
talent.
goodness gracious, every time. Like every
time.
single time. It is true.
So stop waiting until tomorrow. Stop waiting until Monday. Stop waiting until whatever day of the week. Stop waiting until after the quarantine is over. Stop waiting, because every day that you're waiting, you're just putting off what you could have already achieved, what you could have already accomplished. And so that's the mindset that we're trying to get in right now during this quarantine, is saying, okay, stop waiting. Now is the time. Now is the time. Let's get things that have been weighing heavy on us. Let's get this house organized. Let's get our health in check. Let's get these habits and the strong foundation laid, so that when we're out of this quarantine, we're able to continue those things, because the hardest part is making the habit. And right now, really, besides being stuck at home and our families, we don't have a lot of outside factors. I mean, I know we have virtual learning and we have all of these things that we still have to do, but we have time. We have time. So it's just about being intentional with your time. So creating habits, and you don't have to have 5. I made 5. You don't have to have 5. You might have 1 habit. You might even say for the next 4 weeks, I just want to focus on my habits. I just want to get in good habits. Then I'll start worrying about achieving goals.
I mean,
so it's all about tailoring it to you.
At some point, I think you do need to set goals, though, because it's kind of, I mean, both of us coached high school sports, and I remember during the preseason when the kids are conditioning, they kind of die off near the end after a month and a half of conditioning and practice, because they're like, what am I doing this for? Like, there haven't been any competitions or games or anything. And so at some point, you do need to set your goals, but it doesn't have to be right off the bat. Yep.
So we want for you guys, if you want to join us in this 4-week challenge, or really, that's what we have set up, is this 4 weeks, 7 days each week. You know how it works. But we'd love for you to join us for this. We're going to be chit-chatting, talking about it periodically, checking in with you guys on our Better Together episodes. But I'm telling you, I don't care if it's a stranger in the comments. I don't care if it's your friend. I don't care your best friend. I don't care if they're doing the challenge with you or not. Find an accountability partner that you can check in with, because the only way to get to your goals is to have somebody in your corner picking you up on those days that you're really struggling, getting you back on track. Fortunately for me, mine lives in my house, which is amazing, but do it with your spouse, or do it with your family, or do it with a friend, somebody that you can text, somebody that you're going to stay in contact with, because staying on track, you're going to need that accountability partner, which we've always been that for one another. So that's how I feel like we have been able to achieve a lot of our goals, is because we stay focused together, better together. You see how that works out, people? So anyways, I just want to kind of outline what I'm doing, and I'm literally, I already have my goals and everything written in this. You can ask Wade and Chase. It was already on my refrigerator. I'm a very visual person, so I want to see it every single day. But aside from adding which book or podcast I want to read or listen to, because I want to see y'all suggestions for that. But this is already up on my refrigerator, and I am feeling like super confident that if I stick to all of this, that I'm going to be able to pull myself out of this crazy quarantine rut, but I'm also going to be able to achieve a lot of things. So I just wanted to kind of share what it is that I'm doing, what it is that I've been focused on, because I have been kind of just trying to pick myself back up.
What are you doing, Hope King? Let's tell
so anyways,
folks.
I already did. I told him what my goal. Did you not listen to the whole thing?
I did, but I want to know.
That's how effective it was,
people. I thought you were going to tell them those.
No,
Sorry.
This is how good our relationship. See, this is my accountability partner. He wants to be very clear in my goals, so he knows how to hold me accountable. Yeah. So I already told you guys. But I have my habits. I have my organize my. Down here I have my learn webinar. I want to read. I got to find out what I'm going to read from you guys and your suggestions. And then at the very top, I just have my goal for that week.
Yeah, I thought you were going to tell them the goal of the week.
What I want to finish. And so webinar prep, I have some magic of math in there. Hopefully Amy's out of here so that she didn't hear that.
Hear that?
I was really trying to hide that.
That's what I wanted her to say, Amy.
I was really trying to hide that from Amy because I don't want her to hold me accountable. I don't want her to be all up in my business with that, because she'll you just don't understand. You just don't understand how hard she makes me work. But at the top, I do have something that I want to achieve that week, some type of project for me. So
there you go.
These printables are on our website, hopeandwayking.com. It's at the bottom of Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you can see that there. But it's hopeandwayking.com. And so you can get these printables. You can modify them. You can just focus on habits. But I'm going to tell you, if you're going to skip out on anything, do not skip out on the habits. Because if you don't have the habits, then you're not going to achieve your goals, because you're not going to be in a mindset of being motivated, being ready to go, being ready to take on whatever it is that you want to do. So I would say the habits, I think, are what's critical for me. You may think differently. That is great. But for me in the past, that's what I've noticed. If my habits are in check, I am productive. And I can take over the world. If my habits are not.
When you decide your goals, though, again, the habits are the formula. So the habits need to support your goals. They're not just, your habits shouldn't be random. Your habits should somehow get you to those goals, because at the end of the day, the goals are where you're trying to get to better yourself.
So are you starting today? Are you starting with us? Are you going to join us on this challenge, on this QuaranTEAM challenge? Because I know if you're like me, you've been putting it off. So many of us have been putting it off, saying, I'll wait. It is time. It is not just time, it is QuaranTEAM. It is QuaranTEAM to start your goals and to achieve things that you wanted to achieve, so that when we get to the end of this, which hopefully now they say the end of May, maybe let's just all cross our fingers. But when I get to the end of May, we're going to speak it into existence. I want to look back and say, oh my gosh, like I learned this. I was able to do this. I tried this. I had fun doing this. Look at my habits. My habits are in place. We've got a good 2 months, people. 2 months before the world hits us in the face again. And when the world hits us in the face again, it's going to be coming fast and hard. That's just how life works. So get it in check now. We're going to be checking in with you guys. Y'all can even send us pictures of your habits. You can tag us on Instagram. You can, whatever. If you want us to be your accountability partners, we are happy to do that. So if you do this, you can post it, you can tag us, and then use the hashtag QuaranTEAM challenge.
QuaranTEAM.
QuaranTEAM. We got to make it Southern, because we Southern folk. QuaranTEAM challenge, and you can follow people that are doing it as well. So use the hashtag if you're going to do this. If you're working out, hashtag QuaranTEAM challenge. So that way we can kind of keep track, because we're going to follow the hashtag. Y'all should too if you're going to do it, because community, if you see other people doing it, you're going to be like, oh crap, I should have done that today. If you see other people working out, okay, I got to get my workout in. If you see other people doing something or learning something or reading something or whatever it is, it's going to spark that memory of, oh shoot, okay, I've got to be doing this. I've got to stay on top of things. So community is everything, and that's what this is about. And that's what the hashtag can be about too, because when you follow that, it's going to keep you, oh, okay, this is what other folks are doing. Let me get on that game too. So download the digital printables if you want to. You don't have to. Wade will probably do his own version. He likes to keep it all up here. I don't understand that to save my life. Like, I cannot be productive in that manner, but maybe you can. So if you have any questions, we will take a couple of questions, and then we are going to get you guys out of here for tonight. But
someone wants to know where you got your earrings.
These are my Better Together earrings. I feel like I wear them every episode. I'm pretty sure they came from the Mint Julep. I don't know.
Oh, there it is.
One of those online boutiques that
there's multiple people.
I shop at. Y'all ask about these a lot. I'm going to try to find something similar. I have never been able to find these exactly. Okay. So,
all right. What kind of questions,
if you have a question,
the jalapeno situation's a lot better.
Wow. Okay.
We
don't need to bring that back
fine.
If you missed it, you'll have to go back and watch the beginning of the episode. I mean, any other questions? There's none on Instagram. Let us know in the comments if you need it. I'm so glad to see that so many of you are saying you needed this, because I 1000% needed this. I needed y'all to ask for it so that I would sit down and get this stuff out on paper, because I know when I do, I'm telling y'all just wait in 4 weeks.
Let me ask you this though. Is there anything on here, Hope? Is there anything on here that kind of makes you anxious and you're like, man, that's going to be hard to do?
I'm very anxious about the webinars. I love to present to teachers. I love to talk to teachers when you're in person. I do not love talking to a camera. I mean, I feel like these lives are like different because like I can see y'all in the comments and like I know so many of y'all.
I think the technology part is
technology freaks me out. I don't love technology. So the webinars are kind of like, ugh. I'm really nervous about that, but it's something that
I don't like organizing the house. Like,
well, that's why it's on my list.
Sometimes I do.
That and the water. They both start with W's. It's the W's that's going to kill me. The webinars and the water. That's what's going to get me.
Whining. Like, wah.
But I am so excited. Like, just even seeing this on paper makes me excited. Because I'm like, if I achieve all of this in 4 weeks.
Makes me a little nervous.
Like, and it's really not even anything, like, crazy. It's literally, the majority of it is just mindset. It is.
But I think also with like an accountability partner, like if you do live with your spouse and you have kids, you need
Chase, they don't see the templates on the site.
You need,
HopeAwayKing.com/live.
/live. You have to do /live.
And I think if you go down to where it says QuaranTEAM Challenge, then it'll have the...
So people check it out and let us know. We can work on it if not. Oh, yeah. So Stacy sees it. It's there.
Okay,
it's there.
Great.
But I mean, with the what was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, with an accountability partner, if you do have one and you have a spouse or you need to provide time for that other person to be able to accomplish some of these habits and some of these goals as well during the day. Like you just got to talk about it, figure it out.
Yeah. So that is a question that we actually get a lot. Can we talk about that for a second?
What's that?
People ask us all the time, how do you work out? Because we post our workouts a lot and that we're working out. How do you do that with Maverick? All of this, and that's why originally we were like, okay, we're going to call it the QuaranTEAM Challenge because it takes a team for everybody to achieve their goals. But then we realized it's more important that we have the time now. But Wade and I, we talk through these things. So obviously, if you don't have a spouse, it's a little bit different situation. Again, this is what works for us. But we talk through what our goals are. And so we know right now that working out is extremely important to us. So even if Maverick, fortunately right now, is at the age where he does take decent naps every single day. 2 naps, we're still at 2 naps. So
I mean, even when he didn't, like even when we were training for the marathon, like it was hard. It was difficult, but we knew, okay, on his first nap, I'll go out and I'll do my run. On the second nap,
was when he was sleeping like 15
her and her
minutes.
mom would be able to go for a run or whatever it was. And it was just like, I've got an hour here, you've got an hour then, and we figure it out. But then you come back and you own up to your other responsibilities.
Yeah, and so it's kind of a give and take. It's not always that we get, and sometimes we put them in the jogger and we go for a jog together. So it's never an excuse of, I can't do this because I have Maverick. I need to do this because I have Maverick to be the healthiest version of myself. And that's kind of how we look at it. Not, I don't have time because I have kids. I need to do this for them so that I can be the healthiest version of myself. And so like Wade said, it's a team effort. But when it's your time, you can't say, okay, I'll go in 10 minutes. You got to go. You got to take the time. And that is what we mean about being intentional about that time, is you can't just keep putting it off. You got to say, okay, here, I've got my 30 minutes right here. Let me do it. Let me get in as much as I possibly can. Even if it's only 30 minutes.
And we don't dawdle. Like when we're done, like if I'm done running, I get right back in the house. I'm not outside sitting down, whatever it is. Like I know I got to get back in to take over my responsibility for whatever it is for the day, for the house, for Maverick, for cleaning up, for... Like, you get back after it. Like
it truly is a team effort
hard,
with those types of things. I mean, even with doing webinars or whatever it may be, it's a lot of, Wade might watch him during the morning time and I'm getting work done. And then I might watch him in the afternoon while Wade's getting work done. It's a lot of give and take, especially when you do have kids at home. But it's a matter of open communication. You cannot say, oh, my spouse or my significant other, is not doing that for me or not allowing me to do that if you haven't communicated that to them. Wade and I are always very open communication. We're always very open in what we want to do. And then we say, okay, let's figure it out. Let's figure out how we do it. And then once we figure it out, we stick to it. We can't say, oh, I really want to work out, Wade. And then he says, okay, you can go during Maverick's first nap. And then I just sit on the couch and say, I'd rather watch Netflix. That doesn't make him want to help me with all of my other goals later and say, okay, I'll sacrifice this so that you can do this, if I'm not actually taking advantage of the time that I'm being given. So it really is all about open communication.
Next question, how do you manage stress and find time to just chill? Sometimes we are overly stressed, and those are the times that we're like, well, we weren't taking really good care of ourselves. Yeah. And so making sure that we do take that time, like we said earlier.
That's where the habits come into play.
Yeah, taking time for yourself during the day, whatever that looks like. For me, again, it's like I love working out. If I don't want to work out and I just want to rest or whatever, I'll just watch something on YouTube for like 30 minutes on comic books.
But that is because he has established his habits, like as far as working out, they're so well established that then it's okay to say, all right, let me take a day. I just need a day. But if you have not established that habit, that's making an excuse. But again, that's just making an excuse because you don't want to continue that. So you have to be careful with that.
It goes back to communication as well. Like if Hope can tell that I'm stressed or vice versa, let's just sit down.
Yeah.
Like let's just tomorrow we'll watch a movie tomorrow. This is what we've done for the past 3 weeks on
Our
Saturday.
stress is usually work related. And so I was super stressed this week, which is probably what caused my ocular migraine to happen and probably all the things. And sometimes I'm so stressed, I don't even know I'm stressed. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I'm stressed. And so that's when Wade said, you're not doing any work today. Not that I could have because I couldn't see the computer screen. But sometimes, it is okay to say no. You have to figure out, am I really doing this like for my health and because I'm stressed out and I really need this for me? Or am I just making an excuse because I don't feel like working out or I don't want to do this today? You really have to be honest with yourself. If it really is stress and it's really stressing, then it's okay to step back and say, I need to take a break.
But what was really cool about her taking that step back and just kind of relaxing for a little bit, she was still habitual with making sure that she ate the right things. Like, it would have been very easy for her to say, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to just bake a pizza and I'm going to just bring that pizza
I
up
wanted to so
and eat
bad.
This and drink
I wanted to eat 15 chocolate muffins.
Coca-Cola or whatever it was. But she didn't do that. She knew if she would have done that, she would have been in a bigger hole than what she was already in the first place. And it really wasn't that bad of a hole. It was just she noticed that, hey, I got to take a step back. I mean, all of us, like myself, Hope, Chase, Chris, all of us, all of us, we are workaholics. And it's really bad when you're surrounded by people who are that driven because no one checks each other. And so checking each other, I think, is a really good point, too.
And I think something to mention, too, is your habits are really not going to be the things that are going to stress you out. Like habits, it's your goals that you're trying to achieve.
Those are your escapes.
It's the goals that you're trying to reach that might stress you out, the workload that comes along with that, or just life in general. I'm not just talking about habit. I mean, we all have life that stresses us out too. Don't get me wrong. But that's what he means when he says, okay, it's fine to step away from the goals for a second. It's fine to take a day off from the work if it's really stressing you out. It's fine to take a step back because I just took 2 days off. But my habits were still in place because those are the things that's going to keep me motivated when I'm ready to come back. Okay, I've still got this going on. If I had let all my habits go and I had eaten everything and I had done all the things that I was trying not to do, I would have not been even motivated to want to do this. I would have said, I'll wait till May 1st. But because I kept my habits in place, I was like, okay, I've still got this. I can do this. Yes, I was stressed. Yes, I was tired. I took my 2 days off, and now I'm ready to go again. So I think it's just about really, being honest with yourself about what it is that's stressing you out and recognizing that it's probably not your habits. Those are not the things that you need to let go. It's the goals. It's the work. It's the life stresses. That's the things that you kind of have to figure out as you go. So yeah. So
4 minutes before Instagram cuts us off.
Chase put this up on Facebook just to prove me wrong. Have you gone over what RAK means on the challenge template? So RAK stands for, and he's just pointing this out because I was like, Chase, everybody knows what RAK is.
And they don't.
But it's okay if you don't. We're here for you people.
I really didn't know either. I was just pretending like I did.
That's because they're not kind folk. But anyways, it stands for Random Acts of Kindness. So these are just things that we do that we want to be in the mindset to do to serve other people, whether it's just a nice text message or it's a phone call or it's an email or whatever it is. Think of a way that you can make somebody else's day or you can make them smile. When you know you made somebody else smile, that's why I have it on my habits, because that will motivate me to want to do more of that. It'll put me in a positive mindset to want to really focus on what it is I'm doing for that day versus getting in a slump and only thinking about myself and only thinking about how bad I feel. I'm thinking about others instead. And so I think that just gets us on a mindset and a mind frame of really wanting to be productive for the day. So yeah. Do either of you have a favorite devotional? I love She Reads Truth. It is an app. I love that the app is on my phone. And but let us know in the comments. Let us know all the devotionals that you guys use because that's so helpful for me too. I love seeing.
I use the Olive Tree Bible app. That's what I do. The Olive Tree Bible app.
I love She Reads Truth. I've always loved it. I've used it for so long, and it's one of my favorites that I use. So
yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that's what I love. All right.
Yep. We got to tell Instagram bye because it's going to cut us off.
It is going to cut us off.
I'll be rude to you.
Oh, guys, thank y'all. Seriously, thank you for asking us to do this because I am just really excited. If Instagram doesn't cut me off, it's going to be my battery. I'm just really, really excited about this. I literally have all this prep that is going on my refrigerator. I needed y'all to inspire me to want to do this. So thank you so much for this, because
Yes,
I
keep us
really,
going.
really, really, really needed this. And I'm really excited because two things quickly. Tomorrow we are launching something really amazing.
Maybe real quick.
So you need to make sure that you get on our profiles or get your teach on tomorrow. It's going to be really great. And then we are going to start working on webinars for you guys to get out content. If you didn't make it to a Get Your Teach On, we're going to start getting some of those workshops out to you.
Got some things in the works.
So we got some things in the works because we got goals, people. We're going places. We got goals. It starts today. It starts right now. Whatever you need to do to get yourself in a mindset for tomorrow, ready to achieve those goals, set those habits. And then we will be back on Monday with another episode of Better Together.
That's right. Wednesday.
We don't know the exact schedule of next week, but I'll tell you a couple of things that's coming. Number one, we're gonna do an episode for all of my mama friends out there, and I've never talked about my
I won't be there.
postpartum journey.
I won't be here.
How I struggle with postpartum depression, and I know that a lot of people do, and I've never spoken about it, and so I really want to have some time with just ladies.
Guests, right?
Might have some guests for that, but I really want to have some times with just some mamas out there and talk openly and freely about what is. And then we also have an amazing episode with one of our friends that we can't tell you about yet. That is coming up. It's going to be good. So you want to make sure you're tuning in to Better Together every Monday, Wednesday, Friday night at 8 o'clock. We love chatting with y'all. Y'all keep us motivated. Y'all keep us inspired.
Thank you.
We love y'all. Let us know if you have questions. DM us with questions or your goals. We can't wait to see this. Hashtag it. QuaranTEAM Challenge, because we're going to follow that so we can follow you and see all the amazing things that you're doing. Until Monday night, we'll see you guys then.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.